Zach, thanks. Appreciate you doing this.
Absolutely, yeah, man. I'm excited.
This is fun. This is going to be fun. All right, guys, so I have my friend Zach Blankenship. He's a pitcher, a left-handed pitcher from the United Shores Professional Baseball League, an independent baseball league here in Michigan. I work here at the stadium as well, so that's how I know Zach. And today I'm going to ask him a couple of questions on how he basically wound up here. So, Zach, let's just start it off hot.
Hi.
Why did you choose baseball? When did you know that it was like your sport, your thing, and when did you know that you could play it at a collegiate and professional level?
So for me, my dad was always a guy that play as many sports as you can, like that way you don't have to get a job. Like I was always playing baseball, football, I wrestled a little bit, just always kind of finding something to do. Being a lefty definitely helps, right? Because me being a pitcher, I was just kind of looking at, okay, like where's my longevity here? Like football, I was a blocking fullback and a middle linebacker, so like I've had some concussions. Like I just like to hit people, but the longevity for that versus like a left-handed pitcher, like I can have some finesse and go out and play.
Yeah.
High school, my junior year, they made me pick a sport, and that was where the football coach sat me down and was like, "Hey, like you need to devote your time to something." Which I still don't really agree with him for doing because I think that I could have played multiple sports through high school.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people feel that way nowadays.
Yeah, and so like, but they want you to be so sport specific. But I chose baseball, and I'm glad that I did, because then it was really from there. Because then I hurt my shoulder, and on that way back coming from there was when I started to have progress, like fully devoting my time into baseball.
Yeah.
So then I started to see a little bit bigger leaps and jumps that like I could like stuff was getting better faster, and then just through working through that, like even in college, like I was a good pitcher. I wouldn't say that like never threw 95. Like I wasn't anybody that was like drawing scouts. At least I never thought up until recently where I made another little velo jump, just kind of years and years of work piling on top of each other. So it was more of an accumulation of now I'm here and I'm like, I can compete, like I can do this versus me being in high school, like, oh, I could be a pro right now, you know, because I was never that guy. Like I've had to work and take little baby steps and get all the little bits and pieces.
So next question is, what was your favorite baseball team growing up? The Braves?
Yeah, that's a good choice.
I had a feeling. I was going to wear my Tatis one, but I don't know about that today.
Yeah.
That's not a
Leaves
good
a bad
choice.
taste in the mouth.
Yeah, a little bit. No, but I had a feeling. I did look you up. So
okay, I do like the Braves. My dad, family owns a furniture company, so he was always running up to Atlanta to make furniture runs.
Yeah.
And that was where he was always been a Braves fan, so I followed in suit.
Here's a hot take. I think the Braves are the best uniform in baseball.
I love them.
I think they're the best.
I do.
Over the Yankees, over the Dodgers, I'll pick the Braves all day.
The Yankees, they're sweet. Not the Yankees, I'm sorry, the Braves. Yeah,
Braves.
Oh, man.
They're sick. Now, next, I took time to look at your baseball reference page, like I just said.
Sweet.
And I noticed that in 2019 at Valdosta State was your best overall performance based off numbers. You had a 7-2 record, put up a 4.86 ERA, surrendered 38 earned runs in just over 70 innings pitched, had a whip of 1.2. Now, of course, those are just numbers. Yeah. But in your mind, when were you at your peak? When did you perform your best on the diamond and possibly your worst?
I like that year because that was my first year at Valdosta State. Really good team we had there. I did start, so that's hence the 70 innings, but I was more of, because that was my first year in and we had a bunch of upperclassmen, that I was like the midweek starter. So I got to throw against them. But my luck, and I love it because I love facing good competition, midweeks that year were just nuts. Like we're playing University of Tampa, like we played Flagler like 3 times and they ended up being Peach Belt champs. Just nuts team. So I got to throw against great guys. Like I said, at Valdosta, I didn't have a ton of velo then, so it was more like if you went back and looked at the strikeouts, I don't have near as many strikeouts, and it's a lot more ground balls. Like I was a changeup was my secondary pitch that I would get a lot of ground balls on. I feel like my best pitching so far has been now. So I honestly do feel that I'm a better pitcher now, and the stuff out of my hand feels better, and I'm throwing harder than I was before. And so I would say we're still on the come up. I still think there's some in the tank, so I'm looking forward to finding that.
Yeah, because I mean, right now, 18 appearances, you've surrendered 26 hits, 13 earned runs, only 7 walks, 31 strikeouts. So yeah, I mean, it's 4.4 for ERA, but that's pretty good. I mean, obviously it's totally different, right? Collegiate versus independent.
And
it's
switching roles, like going from a
And you're
starter to
facing
now I'm in
everybody.
the pen.
Yeah.
So like I like being in the pen,
Yeah.
but the numbers are weird because like as a starter you can look at numbers and get an idea of how they're throwing. Because
Right.
like an ERA for a starter is a little bit more structured, you know,
Yeah.
because you know they're throwing 5 or 6 versus like I think I've had 3 outings where I gave up runs out of my 18, and that's what had the ERA like jump up. So like that's where now that I'm a reliever, I don't look at like I used to look at ERA. Now I'm kind of like okay, like how's my strikeout to walks? Like how's my whiff percentage? Like how's my whip looking? You know what I mean? Like now it's just different stats. But I think that's cool. Like moving into a different role. Like I'm taking this on, so like I'm just trying to get used to that setting.
And then next question is, I want to ask you a little bit about your journey here to USPBL.
Yeah.
How'd you hear about it? Why did you ultimately decide to play here?
Mm-hmm.
And how many summers have you been here?
I actually heard about it through one of my old high school coaches, and Paul Nochi was his high school coach.
Okay.
Was my high school coach's high school coach. And so he was like, hey, he's like, I know this guy's, and he knew that I wanted to play professionally and keep playing. So he put me in touch with Paul Nochi. His name was Mike Schaub. It's one of my close buddies' dads. Him and I are good friends. And put me in contact with them. Nothing really came from it. I ended up going to the Frontier League for spring training at the beginning of this year. And then at the end of that, got released, and then texted Paul and was like, hey, I'm still trying to play. Like, I'm about 4 hours away. Yeah. And he was like, can you get here tomorrow? And I was like, heck yeah, man. So drove on over and started picked up on their spring training here. So.
Yeah, that's crazy. To me, I always find it crazy that there's so many guys here that just they're like, you know, Georgia, right? You, Florida, and then guy from California I talked to. You're everywhere. It's to me that I didn't realize that like a small league like this somehow is able to like lure in all these different players from around the country to like, you know, a suburb of Michigan. Like people don't think about that. They think about like the Cape Cod League or like all the big, you know, leagues out in Florida or in California or in Texas, like Michigan, Minnesota. Like I feel like most casual baseball fans don't think of like that as an option for minor league players or just guys who are just trying to make it, you know?
At the end of the day, it's pro ball.
Yeah.
So it's going to draw people in regardless. You know what I mean? Granted, even though it's like low A kind of rookie ball, like it's still pro ball. Like you're getting paid to play here. Guys who like are wanting to pursue baseball or maybe even just give himself another year. Like I'm kind of in the boat where I was like, okay, like I'll give it a year or two and see how it works out, how I'm feeling, like how I stack up against other players. Some guys are still in that stage, and some guys are using this as a stepping stone. So I think it's a cool area to see a good mix of athletes.
Next, how would you describe the life of an independent baseball player?
Busy.
Busy?
Busy if you make it busy.
Yeah.
Because you can have a lot of free time. Really? So you're like, well, the work is on your own. You know what I mean? You show up for practice in the morning. You get done with practice. Practice is like an hour and a half maybe.
So you work at like a local gym?
No, I'm just saying, like, what do you do the rest of the day? You can do more baseball stuff. Like, I'll go do some dry work. Like, you can go to the gym. I'll go to the sauna almost daily, every other day. Always just kind of, it's more about preparation than, like, what can I do today? Because my whole perspective is, how can I set myself up today to best perform tomorrow?
Right.
Or if I'm throwing today. So last night, like, went down to the basement, did some stretching and like some yoga and stuff, and made sure I got a big meal and some good sleep. So I'm always just trying to set up for that following day.
Yeah. Do they have a facility for you guys, like a workout facility?
They give us a it's a Pass to Edge Fitness. Okay. So I think there's 3 or 4 around here.
Yeah.
So we can go to any of those.
That's cool.
Those are nice. And 24/7 on Monday through Friday, 7 to 7 on the weekends when I need them 24/7 on like days like this.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna wait till tomorrow, but it's whatever. It's a good gym and it's free. So
now could you tell the viewers the type of pitches that are in your arsenal and what pitch has become your like bread and butter?
Okay. I throw a 2-seam and a 4-seam, but they both move. Okay. So the 4-seam's not really straight. It just kind of, I get a little bit more ride on it. So it's just, sometimes I just grab it because it feels comfortable.
Same velo?
To be completely honest. Same velo.
Yeah.
It's just a slightly different movement pattern. Sometimes against lefties, when I'm going inside, I want the ball to run, but my two seam will go a little bit too much, and I don't want to hit any guy, or I don't want to miss over the plate.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of sometimes I'll switch to a little bit more of like a four seam heavy grip just to get a little bit more true ride into the inside, like on the plate. I throw a curveball. It used to be a slider, and just this season I changed it to a curveball because I was getting a lot of sweep just because I'm a low 3/4 kind of guy. And I wanted something with some depth that was going to miss bats because I saw a lot of guys were fouling off my slider.
Yeah.
And so for some reason, I'd always told myself I never threw a curveball, and I don't know why. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of classed up in my head and was like, okay, I throw a curveball now. And all I did was change my wrist at release, and I got depth.
And you find that you use your curveball more against righties now versus a slider?
I use it pretty equally. Well, I don't use the slider anymore.
Right,
it's now just my curveball.
Right,
but I like the success of it better against both sides because something now like the good ones, I'll get good depth. It's the same speed. I don't throw it any slower.
Yeah.
So now it's just more of a down and glove side pitch or just down rather than my slider tended to stay a little bit like it would get long, but it would get kind of sweepy right here.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't want that. I wanted something that was going to get strikeouts, not foul balls.
Yeah. Next, what MLB pitcher do you like, copy yourself against? Who would you idolize growing up?
I love Max Scherzer. His tenacity, just how aggressive he is on the mound, like he's always just pissed off and ready to go. And I love that.
Yeah, the snot rocket guy?
Yeah, and I love it. I do. Just because guys, you ask hitters who have faced Max Scherzer, and guys are like, dude, he's intimidating. Like that's like that. They just know how he is as a human, and he's cool off the field. I mean, you know what I mean. So it's just kind of I've always looked up to him, and I mean he's nasty, obviously.
Yeah.
And his velo keeps getting better. So hopefully he wins another Cy Young or something.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah, Tiger fans know about him.
Yeah.
Sadly. He left us. That's okay. He won his World Series.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I actually got to watch them in Washington the year that they won the World Series.
Oh, really?
I was playing summer ball in Virginia.
Okay.
So we got to drive out to DC and catch it. And
that's cool.
That was so cool. That was when he had his black eye.
Oh, really? That was
that game.
Oh,
so
no.
He got like 17 punchies in like 8 innings with this black eye. And we were sitting there watching that game, me and my buddy, and we were like, this is so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that game. That's an iconic game.
It was nuts.
That's like the Nolan Ryan with like the blood.
Yeah.
That's equivalent to that.
It was sweet to watch.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Now, if you were to make it to the show one day, what hitter would you most like to face off against? What hitter would you dread to face?
Okay, I feel like I have to just for respect. I would hate to face Soto.
Really?
I would be excited to face him, but just knowing his skill level, like
lefty against lefty though.
Yeah, but that's a good hitter,
Yeah.
Like so that's because I feel like when just being a lefty, I face so many more righties.
Right.
So I feel like sometimes my pitch location on a righty, I'm a little bit more comfortable back-footing a breaking ball against a righty than trying to inside. I say inside. I don't know the word for it. There's back foot, and then I guess front door breaking ball to a lefty because that's a lot tougher because like that margin for error is so much shorter because there's shins right there versus that back foot. I can kind of start inside half and let it break away, and it does that for me. So I don't know. I mean, I'd love to face him. Don't get me wrong. Like if he was here, I'll face him as much as he wants. But he would definitely be a guy that I'd be hesitant and be like, oh, because if you mess up, this ball's going.
So who could you punch out? Baez?
Who could I? I actually trained with Ryan Mountcastle.
Oh, really?
In the off season, and he is a competitor.
Is he?
And I got him once or twice. I did. But he also got me a few times. So he lives right outside of Orlando, and that's where I was in the off season. So I got to face him quite a bit.
Yeah.
So that was a guy that I enjoyed facing a lot. And he was a lot of fun, and he's a big bat. Obviously, Rookie of the Year as well. So, yeah, love him. He's awesome.
That's kind of cool you got to train with him.
Yeah, and Orlando brings together a lot of different athletes.
Oh, yeah.
So Nick Goody also was another guy who was previously with he was with the Yankees earlier, and then I can't remember where he was. I want to say the Indians or now the
Guardians,
but it was before that change.
Yeah.
But he's a pitcher, and I got to train. He was like my throwing partner every day. So it's just being down there blessed me and put me in contact with so many cool
Yeah.
athletes. I know it was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Now, as you probably know, baseball as an industry has become so much more analytically advanced.
Very.
Whether it's pro ball, whether it's minor league teams associated with, professional teams in the major leagues, collegiate ball. So my question is, has the USPBL provided with you and your teammates with any sort of analytics that has helped you players better understand aspects of your game that you're good at and aspects of the game that you could improve on?
Yeah, we have the StatCast that
Okay.
we use here. So they actually they gave us a link so we can go back and look at, like, it'll rank hitters throughout the league, like, and what they're doing best in. It's the advanced stats.
Right.
They'll do the same thing for pitchers. So, like, first strike pitch percentage, contact percentage inside, outside of the zone, swing and misses inside, outside of the zone. You know what I mean? Like those advanced stats.
RPMs?
Yes, or just for each pitch. It doesn't go individual pitches, but just for, like, your top and average for that pitch, it'll show you. But then again, we also have Daryl, who has come in with Flex Pro Grip that they brought in, which is like a prototype thing that the Padres have been using.
Okay.
And it's meant for UCL tear prevention, but it can also be used to help because it's training the distal muscle in your fingertip that lets you do this.
Yeah.
So at ball release, you just put more behind the ball. So essentially, it helps your elbow, but also increases spin rate. Gotcha. So we're getting to play around and use that as well. So you can do individual finger stuff, like working on a sinker, working on a cutter. Like, it's just kind of very, very open to how you want to train yourself and where the direction you want yourself to go as a baseball player. So I think they leave everything open enough. They're hands-on if you have questions. They run through the DVS system as well. So we have the bands that you'll see, the red bands you'll see us doing. I really like those a lot.
Yeah.
Just as a general warm-up, I've always used Jaeger bands, but the DVS ones, I like some of the positions they put you in. So I'll definitely be taking some stretches that I've learned here to other places as well.
Cool. Guys, that's interesting for me because I don't know what this place, like, how advanced they are when it comes to, analytics and what they got for you guys. Because I'm just wondering, like, it's a professional, but, like, it's such a, you only got 4 teams here, by the way, so it's like you're facing everybody over and over again, which is probably tough, too, for a pitcher.
You definitely get used to people. Well, even as hitters, like, because if a guy's beating you, you know what I mean, then his kind of, that presence just grows bigger. Then the guy's like, dude, this guy just got me right now, So you get in these ruts easier and can stay in them. So it's difficult on both sides. I think for what they do for us, they do a fantastic job of laying everything out in front of us. I wish we had a way to get a little bit more video on pitchers. But besides that, like, we get to see the numbers, we go through the mechanics, we have the warm-up, like, it's really on to the athlete.
Maybe you can borrow the Astros camera in center field.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Just a thought. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean,
they have that still, probably, right? Yeah, that's why they're winning.
Yeah.
Anyways, finally, what will your off-season regimen look like? Will you be joining some sort of winter ball league? What's your plan for the off-season and even into next summer?
A lot of working out. I'm going to get back on an off-season program because currently I'm on more of like an explosive, like a maintenance type deal where, like, I'm just looking for performance. I want to be ready for my performance days. In the off-season, it'll get more into, like, my strength work and probably my like volume loading, where I'm going to try and put on a little bit more weight again. Like, I'd like to throw on 5 or 10 pounds if I can. A lot of higher intent throwing as well. I might take a little break, like a week or two, but it'll probably be less pen work, more just output. It's long toss again, just getting back into this gain velo kind of phase.
Yeah.
Because, like, I want my body in that position. I want to throw harder. I might go to Tread for a month or two, which is like a training facility, kind of like Driveline, because I tried Driveline before too, and I liked it, but I kind of like picking pieces from everything. So, like, I want to see all their perspectives and kind of put together what I like best. And as of right now, if I didn't get an opportunity to play anywhere else, I would come back here. I'd give myself another year coming back here for next summer. But hopefully we're in another league or doing something, or in affiliate ball. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, we still got season left here, so
Yeah.
definitely trying to make it work. But
Right.
it'd just be a lot of hard. It's a grind, man. Got to come back because, like I said, preparing day to day. This off season is preparation for my season. So take it as seriously as I would a game day.
Twins are really involved here. If you guys don't know, they got Randy Dobnik from right here at USPBL. He was the Uber driver. Everybody knows that story.
Yeah.
So this is like a legitimate place. So I mean, you can get scouted and signed up by these major league clubs. I've seen Twins guys come in here when it comes to scouts, Red Sox guys, not Tiger guys, which I don't know why, considering they suck.
Kind of crazy, huh?
Like, what are you doing, Al?
Look
but he got fired anyways.
Come on.
Yeah, Al, that's why he got fired. I don't know. Anyways, but I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely, that was a pleasure.
Yes,
I loved it.
That was fun, man. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more great baseball content like this in the future. And as always, I will catch you guys later.